G'day gamers, Whitebot here with Filthy Whitebot 74 with some Blitz gameplay now. Just to let you know, this is a 23-minute match. I've edited it down to about 8 minutes or so. And I'm super excited about this because I recorded this at a full native 1080p. Now sometimes if you don't realise this, my Xbox One, I have to reduce the resolution to it, which I'm sure you're not really worried about because I reduced it to 720 because if I put it at 1080, I gain my Elgato, the software stuff's up. I think it's the graphics card on my laptop. So enough of that buzzer out of the way as I'm about to blow myself up with the boom shot here. This is, I'll have to be honest with you, one of the best games of Blitz I've ever had. I'm going to show you some very stupid stuff in here. There's some funny stuff in here, and there's also some really good gameplay. But it was balls to the wall, and it was a legitimately good match, and it's good for what the subject is at hand. Now, before I get into the nitty-gritty subjects, how good is this? Late last night when my dog was carrying on about 2 in the morning down here in Australia, I got news, we all got news. 11th of October, Gears of War 4. Oh man, this year is going to go off. So, as a defender hill here in Blitz and Golf, like 2 frogs and half a sock, let's get into the nitty-gritty about the melee. That's right, the B button mash or not the B button mash. And when to melee and when not to melee. Now this is, I've found out of all Gears of War games, the B button is pretty bad in this game. But when I put up when I made an announcement that if you got the jump on somebody and you're running up from behind them and you press the B button, you are a noob. Now I said that because that happened to me a couple of times in a TDM match, believe it or not. But then I was in the Gears of War fans clips and fans of a group on Facebook, and I have to say I was quite pleasantly surprised by the response from people. One bloke said, "Sir, if you keep on falling for that, you are the noob." And you think, oh, you fucking this, that, and the other. But he's right. If you keep on falling for it, when you know a person's going to B button mash, particularly in TDM, you've gone up against that guy and he's going to B button mash, sort of like the sawed-off character in Gears of War 3, don't go back there. That's your own stupid fault. And then a couple of people said it's in the game. Right? So what's the difference? Just change your tactics. That is true. That is very true. I'll just put those clips in there because, peeps, you know what? That person was bloody good with the boom shot. So the thing was, I was thinking about it, and then one person said, and then another comment was, well, if your first instinct is to press the B button, you shouldn't be playing Gears of War. I agree with that the most. And then the other one was, well, you're not always guaranteed to kill point blank range if you come up from people from behind with an Asher in this game. In this game, Gears of War UE. And you know what? I agree with that. So, there's a couple of video clips in here, a couple of clips I'm going to show you here and there where I think the B button was used in the right, correct manner, and I could have avoided it myself. And, look, I came second on my team. This is a very tight match. Look at that Kadoosh. That guy just went flying from one end to the other. I mean, that's why I left that bit in there. Did you see that guy fly? He absolutely flew. So, I've edited out a fair bit of the second half. Now, look, the B button, look at that. I think I missed him with the shot. I didn't get the shot, but the guy meleeed me down. No problem when you got the boom shot. No problem whatsoever. I don't mind that at all. I think, that was my own stupid fault. I mean, what a noob I was. So, people, I think we've just got to change our tactics, get a little bit faster, concentrate on your movement. And yeah, people are going to be button mash. I mean, there are people just go and they do it all the time, their first instinct. Do you think they hang around and last in the game long? Pretty sure they don't. I'm pretty sure they don't, people. Look at this, we do a rollback and Kadoosh. So, I don't know. Tell me what you think in the comment section down below, people. Tell me what you think in the comment section down below. When do you think it's right to melee, when it's not? I don't think it's right to melee all the time, but you'll see a couple of good tactics here, particularly when it comes to Blitz, because it's more fast-paced games. You have to do it to win the hill because you're being shot at. You haven't got time to reload. I mean, that's another reason why the mechanic was in the game. I mean, the Nasher is the main weapon. It's nitty-gritty. It's fast-paced. The game is, get right in your face. And, when you're reloading, it takes a while because there's so much emphasis on reloading in all of Gears of War games. Let me just say it again. There's a lot of emphasis on reloading in Gears of War. There's the active reload. It's all about timing. You don't get that in COD. You don't really get that in Battlefield 4. Yeah, COD you have, fast reload and stuff like that, but it's not as epidemic or as important as Gears of War. And I think that's what a lot of people tend to forget. And they've worked out in the game, they've gone, well, if we're really loading and we're reporting, making such a big thing of an active reloader and I'm a regular reloader and I reload way too much, then they had to put the melee in there. And yeah, it is a bit OP in this game, but there are ways around it. When you see in one video where a guy pistol whipped him, and I've been shot at as well in my previous video in the clip, and I still managed to get around and take him out in one shot. So the game itself is not consistent. So really, I'm going to have to stop whinging about the B button bashes. I think we all should. And just endeavour not to use it. Yep, that's it. That's what I said it. Sound religious, whatever. So look, Gears of War 4, I finally got my Game Informer copy down here in Australia. And I read through the article, I like the pictures, fantastic. I couldn't be more stoked for Gears of War 4. I mean, I was very disappointed that Mass Effect Andromeda was not coming out. Now, see, that was weird. I copped a shot and he still meleeed down. I don't think it was that right at the time, but then again, you know, get over it. I ran straight to him. I should have fired before I ran in there. They came back big time in the second round. We're going into the third round. I've edited a lot of it out. So, you know what, Pete? Oh, look at that. See, now, that kind of B button really annoys me, but, you know, it was probably justified. Because I'm trying to zoom in, I'm not hip firing as much, and he just jumped. Like, he was covering at the other end, and so he hit the melee. He's like, Jesus, there he is, going to melee. You know, it's a knee-jerk reaction. So, you know, people, I'm not going to bitch about it anymore. And I agree, I think a lot of it's great. It's just great. It's worse than TDM. You don't see, in King of the Hill, when people just rush the hill and B button mashing, they don't really last that long, or blitz. So, that's enough of that. So, anyway, as the video continues on, I'm going to talk about the one thing that concerned me out of all the article, and it's a picture. And I think what page is on? It's on page 44, to the top left corner. It has Oscar as Kate's uncle, a former Gear who fought in the Locust War. You look at him with a nice beard, looks like a Viking, but the rifle he's holding looks like a retro. Look at this B button mash. Look at that. See? I've got no problems with him using it then. That guy was being sniped, shot, and he's holding the hill. It's a close match. Yeah, go for it, son. Look at me. I'm trying to slow the team down here as well. I'm going like, oh, shit. So, people, the retro. Unless it's like a power weapon, I don't want it in the game. The retro was OP. It was worse than any B button masher or sword off user. It's the only weapon, the only thing in the Gears of War I have a problem with. It really is, people. Like, why on earth? Like, we just... Oh, man. Like, yeah. Oh, far. You know, like... What? The retro. So don't bring it back in. That's the only fear I have, people, is bringing back the retro. So as you can see, this game was rather harsh. And then we came back here. We're coming back and it was just tense. That's why. And I'm glad I recorded all at 1080p. So tell me, if the retro comes in, are you going to be disappointed? I'm sure as shit going to be. I'm going to be super disappointed if the retro comes back into the game. It was just the most noobiest thing. You know, oh, I can't use any other weapon, so I use the retro, and I just, you know, get the active reload on that and down anybody with 2 shots across the map and just tap that trigger. Come on, dudes. It was so OP, man. It made the boom look like a fucking spud gun, really, most of the time. And, yeah, just no retro, please. Please, no retro. Look at that. And just towards the end, it was just nitty-gritty. Just straight everybody running into that last hill there. So tell me what you think, people. Tell me when do you think it's alright to melee? Do you like it? Don't you like it? Is it because of the connection thing? I think it really is when it comes to Gears of War UE. You'll see a classic example of it up here where I tell this stuff up where it's almost justified. I think, you know, oh, I missed it while the clip is gone. But anyway, Frag and Tab, be good to those that know you. Tell what you think. If you enjoyed the video, please smack the like button. Catch you mofos later.